All right, I got the craziest story. I definitely want to make sure I get this before I head out to New York. We are in downtown Knoxville, but this video has nothing to do with where we're at, so that's even better. I had a property in Maryville I listed for 3-bedroom, 1 bath. I had it up and I showed it 3 or 4 times a week and was getting a ton of demand on it. The catch was every single person viewing this property before arriving, they were like, oh, we're gonna apply. We wanna move in tomorrow. We have 800 credit. We make, $80,000 household income. We wanna sign a 2-3 year lease. And then once they show up, they realize that the 3rd bedroom was too small for them. They didn't think of it as a 3rd bedroom. And honestly, I knew it was. It had a closet, it had a window. It was big enough for a twin. The only catch was the washer and dryer hookup was in that room. And so it made it an unusable room for most tenants, because after the washer and dryer was going to be placed, you'd have very little room for a bedroom, along with having to listen to a washer and dryer. Could get really hot in that room as well, sleeping if you have the dryer on. You get the gist of it. Bottom line is, instead of lowering rent and trying to just keep going with this 3-bed, 1-bath listing, I'm telling you this in this video so that way you can learn from my risk. I took the listing and instead of dropping the price, I simply put it as a 2-bedroom, 1-bath with a bonus room, which when you filter on Zillow and apartments, you can't look for bonus rooms. It's just going to be in the description. So anything you can only have in the description and is not a filtered variable at a property typically does not get a lot of attention from leads. Because let's face it, you look at 3 photos, you look at the price, you say, where's it at? You go, I want to go look at it, or I don't. You don't go through all the description of wonderful, beautiful backyard with flowers. Like, no one reads that stuff. So, sorry, but at the end of the day, listing things in the description is great from a legal aspect of like, hey, this is how we describe the property, this is what we're marketing, make sure that's accurate. Along with if you have a security deposit, teaching people about pet rent, pet deposits, all that kind of stuff can keep you safe as a landlord and inform very, very, very interested leads. But in a sales funnel, like I spoke on my last video, you're gonna have a lot more leads than just really well qualified leads. You're gonna have cold leads. Cold leads don't read anything. The bulk of the market are cold leads looking for in a couple weeks, a couple months. So you have to nurture leads. Yeah, I don't even want to get into the subject. Bottom line is most people looking at your description are not going to be able to find that you had a bonus room. So what I want to highlight in this video is this. I dropped it to a 2-bedroom, 1-bath from a 3-bedroom, 1-bath at the same price. And I had it listed, let's just say 3 weeks, as a 3-bed, 1-bath. Tons of showings, tons of people saying not big enough, house super cute, love the big backyard, everything, what a great deal. But that 3rd bedroom, it's not gonna work for us, sorry. So I pivoted, I did 2-bed, 1-bath on the listing. In under a week, I had a well-qualified applicant sign a lease and they're about to move in November 1st. That is just proof that when people are searching on Zillow, apartments.com, rent.com, Rental Beast, all these websites, they are very specific with their filter. So they'll look up 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 3-bedroom, 1-bath within this price range. And if you are not within that price range and that specific bedroom count, they're willing to see if they get an extra bath or a half bath, but most people will not get greedy or be confident enough to be like, well, maybe we'll find a 3-bed in that price range. They're just looking for what they need. And so the leads went from 3 weeks of me meeting people saying, this house is small, this house is small. The 4th week where we had all people with the expectation of a 2-bedroom say, man, this has a bonus room? This is awesome. And we signed a lease within 7 days of marketing it that way. So the lesson here isn't, oh, drop your bedrooms. It's just to say, play around with variables outside of the price, because pricing isn't always the issue. A lot of times I've been in sales, I've wholesaled, I've sold cars, now I'm in property management. It's really what I'm gonna be doing for probably the rest of my life, God willing. But bottom line is, it's either about the price or it's not about the price. And 99% of the time, it's not about the price, it's about the value. Because if you bring enough value, people will pay the price that value is demanded. And so we as landlords, property managers, a lot of times think that 2 bedrooms are not worth as much as 3 bedrooms. But we all know a condo downtown Knoxville that's 1 bed, 1 bath is going to rent for significantly more than a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, let's say an hour north in the middle of nowhere. So it's not just bed bath, it's the value of being downtown, it's the value of maybe the luxury finishes, it's the value of the backyard or the added amenities of the soccer taco place downtown or whatever. It's other things outside of price that you need to highlight, whether it be in your photography, your bed bath. You just got to find the people that see the value. And I was looking at this and saying, do I really want to drop the price? And I'm just like, this house is worth every penny I'm asking. And so I'm going to drop it down to a 2-bed, which I'm still confident it should go for. And maybe we'll find an accurate customer that needs the value I'm trying to sell. And that's exactly what happened. So this video is just to say, play around with variables, try to make sure your photos are accurate with the amenities and added features of the property. If you have a really nice kitchen or bathroom, definitely get close-up photos of the countertop. Don't just describe it in the listing and move on. You know, with that house, again, the bed bath was just a simple trick. It rarely is going to be a solution, but that's why I wanted to make a video on it, was because it was just so out of this world how that worked. Again, rent's due, pay your rent. I'm gonna make you pay a late fee real quick.